Your kitchen isn't just for experimenting with grandma sauce recipe or finding new ways to chop onions without crying. It's also one of the most well-stocked science laboratories you'll ever come across, where pasta is used as rocket fuel, milk and dish soap make the perfect pair, and the glass is always half full of water you just turned into wine. Even if the only successful thing you've ever made in the kitchen is a mess, these amazing experiments are so easy, even your kids can do them. Before we get started, here's a quick experiment you can do right now that will make you smarter. All you need is something to click with. Fingers, toes, apparently nose styluses work too. Hit subscribe and behold, all the questions you've ever had about the cool and weird stuff that goes on in the world are answered. Liquid magnet. A ferrofluid is a liquid with magnetic particles that change shape in response to other magnets. It's typically used in hard drives and speakers, but you can have fun channeling your inner magneto and perform super cool magnetic tricks with it at home. The ingredient list is simple: vegetable oil, printer toner, and a rare earth magnet like neodymium. This type of magnet will give you a much better effect compared to the magnets holding up your kids' artwork on the fridge. Pour 50 millimeters of toner into the jar, and then put in 2 tablespoons of the vegetable oil. Mix them together to a very thin consistency. Place the magnet on the outside of the jar, and watch as the liquid hardens into cool tiny spikes. Make objects invisible. If you've always wanted a cloaking device to make things invisible, here's the next best thing. By using light, you can make something disappear in the blink of an eye. It's super easy. Just grab a Pyrex glass, Pyrex test tube, and glycerol. Fill the glass about 2/3 full with glycerol. Place the test tube in the glass, and poof, it's gone. How does it work, you ask? If you place the beaker in a normal glass of water, you can see the edges of the tube because the beaker and the water have different refractive indexes, meaning light travels through them at different speeds. Glycerol, on the other hand, has the same reflective index as Pyrex glass, so when the light passes through the beaker full of glycerol, it doesn't change speed and direction. Therefore, the test tube remains hidden inside. Now, if only we could make all the dirty dishes disappear. Glowing water. We've all heard that drinking water can give us glowing skin. Well, in this experiment, we're putting the glow in H2O. All you need is water, a yellow highlighter, glass container, pliers, and a black light. First, fill the glass container with a very small amount of water. The less water used, the greater the glowing effect will be. Next, use the pliers to remove the bottom of the highlighter and drop the ink into the container. After about 30 minutes, go into a dark room and turn on the black light. Placing the water bottle near the light will cause the phosphorus from the pen's ink to illuminate, and voila, glowing water. You can make other experiments glow in the dark too, by adding this neat little trick whenever the formula calls for water. Pasta rocket engine. Here's a fun way to burn carbs without breaking a sweat. For this pasta rocket engine, you'll need a mason jar, hydrogen peroxide, yeast, and uncooked ziti pasta. Start by drilling a medium-sized hole in the lid of the jar and removing the metal collar from around the top. It's crucial that you remove the collar, otherwise the pressure could cause the glass to explode. Fill the jar with hydrogen peroxide and drop in a 1/4 teaspoon of yeast. The mixture will start fizzing as the microbes separate the oxygen molecules from the hydrogen. The yeast reacts with the hydrogen peroxide and releases pure oxygen gas. So when you place the ziti pasta noodle on top of the hole and light it up, you get one powerful looking flame. Not enough juice to send your pasta into space, obviously, but a really fun way to play with your food. Sorry, Mom. DIY lava lamp. Alka-Seltzer isn't just for heartburn and hangovers. When combined with vegetable oil, water, and some food coloring, you get a pretty cool DIY lava lamp. Here's what you do. Pour water into a glass, put in about a dozen drops of food coloring of your choice, and add a few teaspoons of vegetable oil. Once the oil has separated from the water, cut an Alka-Seltzer tablet into small pieces and drop one in the glass. As the tablet releases tiny bubbles of carbon dioxide, they rise to the top, taking some of the colored water along for the ride. The gas escapes once it reaches the surface, and the food coloring falls back down, just like a real lava lamp. Add some glitter for a fun sparkly effect. Turn water into wine. Impress your friends at your next get-together by turning water into wine. Surprisingly, all you need is a piece of plastic and 2 wine glasses, one full of water and one full of wine. Make sure the plastic is at least slightly bigger than the rim of the glass. Place it over the water and place your hand on top. This is where things can get a little messy. Carefully place the glass of water on top of the glass of wine. Remove the plastic and watch as gravity helps turn your water into vino. The secret is pretty simple actually. Because water has a higher density than wine, they can easily switch places, but your friends will just think you're a magician. Who needs Merlin when you have Merlot? Psychedelic milk. If you thought blowing bubbles and milk mustaches were the only fun way to enjoy your milk, feast your eyes on this experiment. You're going to need some milk, dish soap, food coloring, and a plate with a deep bottom. Pour the milk onto the plate enough to cover the bottom. Next, add a few drops of food coloring in different colors to the center of the plate. Now add a single drop of dishwashing soap to the food coloring, and you're in for a mesmerizing trip. No hallucinogens required. Just protein-hungry soap linking up with as many fat molecules in the milk that it can find. This hooking up process causes the food coloring to move around in all sorts of directions. No two milk masterpieces are the same, so you can have fun doing this experiment over and over again with completely unique results every time. Levitating orb. Chris Angel isn't the only one with levitation tricks up his sleeve. This floating orb trick is simple to do. You'll need a 1-inch PVC pipe that's about 24 inches long, and 6 strands of the thinnest Christmas tree tinsel you can find. Tie the 6 strings of tinsel together in a knot at one end, and then tie them together again about 6 inches from the first knot. Cut off the extra tinsel, then grab the PVC pipe and rub it all over your hair for about 10 seconds to static supercharge it. Drop the tinsel into the pipe and watch as it repels and levitates. This trick may not land you a show in Vegas, but it's guaranteed to be a hit at your next dinner party, while putting some of those old Christmas decorations to good use. Slime. Whether providing sensory play for kids, being dumped on people in an act of humiliation, or used to clean the crud out of our keyboards, slime is a substance we can't seem to get enough of. Thankfully, it's easy to make your own at home with just a few ingredients. What you'll need: water, borax powder, which can be found in the laundry detergent aisle at the grocery store, food coloring, white liquid glue, disposable cups, and a couple of spoons. Mix the water and 1 tablespoon of borax together in a cup and set it aside. Fill the other cup with 1 inch of glue and mix it with 3 tablespoons of water. Add your food coloring to the glue mixture, then combine both mixtures together. You'll see your slime beginning to form. Let it sit for about 30 seconds, then it's playtime. Rock candy. You've gotta love science experiments that teach you something and feed you at the same time. To make your very own rock candy, gather a clothespin, a wooden skewer, 1 cup of water, 2 to 3 cups of sugar, and a tall, narrow glass or jar. Pin the clothespin around the skewer and place the skewer inside the glass to make sure it fits. Set it aside. Boil 1 cup of water, and once it starts bubbling, gradually add the sugar, stirring until it all dissolves. Remove from heat and let it sit for about 20 minutes. Pour the sugar mixture into the glass and put the skewer inside, making sure it isn't touching the sides. Let everything cool once more and then put it aside. As the sugar solution cools over the next 3 to 7 days, the water and sugar separate and the sugar latches onto the skewer, creating your very own rock candy. Isn't science sweet? Science projects have never been more fun or innovative, and you don't even have to be a science geek to appreciate a sticky glob of goop or the power of a good anti-indigestion tablet. Want to learn more cool science stuff and mysterious facts about the world? Subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.